Hey everybody, welcome to Psychology Element. People have been talking a lot about the hot new research on dark empaths these days. Since the summer of 2020, Heym's and others' research on dark empaths have caused a lot of excitement due to it filling the gap for people who can relate to the dark triad traits but still have empathy. It's a fascinating study that gives understanding to many and will be an excellent tool for psychologists in the future. With every new discovery, there are new critiques, of course, and it's important we address them. Because it's a new study, we need people to recognize that there's still a lot of research to be done before people can understand how to use the new term. But nevertheless, discussion is the best part of psychology. That's why we are going to discuss a couple of critiques with you that go hand in hand with the dark triad and dark empaths. One critique that has come up is the worry of pathologizing individuals or making them feel as if they are nearly as harmful as people with the dark triad traits. For that reason, we're going to talk about how dark empaths and dark triad traits are related and how they're different. Hopefully, this will clear things up a bit. If you haven't heard about dark empaths yet, be sure to check out our video on the topic in the description below. Before we get into the similarities, we're going to talk a bit about the dark triad and how it fits into personality psychology. The dark triad was introduced in 2002, and the mysterious personality type has caught the attention of the world. The triad consists of Machiavellianism, narcissism, and psychopathy, and together they form a personality type that tends to wreak havoc on those around them. However, there are two important factors that are seldom acknowledged. First, Delroy Paulus and Kevin Williams, the psychologists who coined the term dark triad, pointed out that there appeared to be a continuum of dark traits. This means that they're proposing there is a little bit of darkness in everyone. Depending on the situation, everyone has the capability to act manipulatively, aggressively, or narcissistically. To support their proposal that it's a continuum, we are going to bring up the second important psychology discovery, the light triad. The light triad was invented in 2010 and is excellent at measuring the good traits on the other side of the moral spectrum. The light triad consists of Kantianism, humanism, and a faith in humanity. Kantianism philosophy of Immanuel Kant, the famous philosopher who stated humans should not be treated as a means to an end. In other words, you should not use people, you should treat them as humans. Humanism is valuing the dignity and worth of each individual, and combined with a faith in humanity, these traits create a very saint-like person. However, when surveyed against the dark triad traits, they found the light triad was not a direct opposite to the dark triad. In fact, just like the dark triad, they found that all traits were present in both dark and light populations, but in varying degrees. This is evidence that everyone has good and bad in them. So, when you're reading about empaths, and dark psychology, it's important not to fall into the trap of thinking you're a bad person if you relate to dark triad traits. Everyone is capable of harboring and displaying these traits. Clinical diagnoses for the dark personalities are given to the extreme maladaptive cases, and if you feel you meet the diagnostic criteria, please speak to your doctor or psychologist. It's never too late to get help. However, the research on dark empaths is a great tool for building self-awareness of these more harmful traits we might have, despite still having empathy. It shows that empathy is on a spectrum, and with careful work, we can improve our empathy so we can feel closer to the empath side of the spectrum. Anyways, if you're one of the people who are wondering if you fit more in line with dark empaths or dark triads, keep watching. We're about to compare the dark empath versus the dark triads. Let's get started. Number 10. People on the dark triad are more likely to have a criminal record than dark empaths. Dark triad traits are shown to be highly predictive of criminal misconduct, delinquency, and high-stakes deceptions. Their narcissism allows them to feel as if they're above the law, that they deserve special treatment, or that their crimes are justified because the victims deserved it. Their Machiavellianism allows them to be manipulative and think of methods to act out the crime, often undetected initially, and their psychopathy can manifest in aggression and impulsivity. In fact, there are some deadly accounts of people in the military with dark triad traits becoming more likely of committing war crimes on innocent civilians. This leaves the military in a double-edged sword predicament. People with dark triad traits are valuable in the military due to their aggression and willingness to commit violent acts. However, they are also a burden due to costly consequential legal battles and stained national reputations. This is an important fact to remember if you're wondering if you meet the dark triad criteria. Ask yourself if you would or have engaged in an illegal, high-stake, maybe even violent activity. It's a good indicator of where you sit between light and dark personalities. Although there is research done in the past on empathy being used to exploit and manipulate, like politicians, advertisers, or high school bullies, there isn't enough research to say dark empaths engage in the same level or any criminal activity. Number 9. Dark empaths feel more shame. One of the reasons why dark empaths don't report having similar histories of criminal misconduct could be because of their increased shame. Dark empaths not only have more shame than those high on dark triad traits, but could also have more shame than normal populations with average empathy. Of course, empaths still report feeling the most shame for acting inappropriately, but dark empaths still do too. This shows that empathy has a protective value against engaging in criminal activities, which could be because of their ability to put themselves in the victim's shoes. This could also be applicable to interpersonal relationships, as we'll see next. Number 8. Dark empaths have more satisfying relationships. People high on dark triad traits report having unstable, short-term relationships and a high number of sexual partners. Meanwhile, dark empaths report having more satisfying relationships. Perhaps their dark traits allow them to be aware of ways they could act out negatively towards their partner or friend, but their empathy and level of shame prevent them from acting on them. Regardless, if you identify with the dark empath personality, you'll be relieved to know that you'll have more satisfying relationships than those with less empathy. Number 7. Dark empaths can be whoever they need to be in a situation. Dark empaths are excellent social chameleons. Their empathy allows them to understand other people's motivations, emotions, and goals. This can enable them to be even more manipulative than those with less empathy if they chose to use their cognitive empathy as a weapon. It's important to note that even though this can be used in maladaptive ways, it also could be more beneficial than not having the ability. Even if the dark empath doesn't want to feel like being compassionate toward a friend if they're upset, they can still support them because they know it's the right thing to do. Number 6. There are fewer dark triad people than dark empaths. In the research, it's been reported that 13% of the sample were dark triads and 19% were dark empaths. This means nearly a third of the population could be darker than you expect. And hey, if you like what you're watching, don't forget to like and subscribe. We love sharing great, free psychology content with you. Number 5. They each use mean-spirited humor. Both groups of dark personalities engaged in mean-spirited humor more than any other group. This humor can consist of outright bullying or more subtle types like sarcasm or gossip. Regardless, if you know someone who's a dark empath or a dark triad, you should be prepared for some harsh jokes. If they ever hurt you, be sure to tell them. At least the dark empaths are more capable of shame and might change. Number 4. Dark triad individuals are the most likely to seek revenge. The dark triad contains psychopathy, which is the most predictive personality trait of engaging in revenge. Even worse, they're more capable of being violent, which makes them even more dangerous if you cross them. Dark empaths, in contrast, rate higher in agreeableness, neuroticism, and lower on aggression, making them less likely to engage in revenge and their higher levels of shame. As you'll see in the next difference, dark empaths can be vengeful as well, but there isn't enough research to say whether their relational aggression is used as destructively for revenge as people who score high on those 3 traits. Number 3. Dark empaths are more likely to use relational aggression. Dark empaths are more likely to use relational aggression, like gossip or manipulations, than physical aggression. Although they might not be as physically dangerous, relational aggression can have severe negative impacts on one's life. Word of mouth has the ability to ruin reputations and livelihoods. If you relate to the dark empath personality and like to engage in relational aggression, remember that almost a third of the population could be just as, if not more, than you. Try to practice some Kantian ethics to avoid anything harmful ever happening as a consequence of your actions. Number 2. The protective qualities of empathy increase the dark empath's life satisfaction compared to dark triads. Dark empaths report having higher life satisfaction, likely due to their higher empathy. Empathy can help people navigate their lives and relationships with greater ease, even if it isn't always used for the best intentions. Number 1. Both are excellent in careers focused on emergency or crisis services. Even though it might be easy to write off people who act in malicious manners, they're still human and they do still have their roles in society. In fact, both dark empaths and dark triads make excellent workers in careers that could be traumatizing to others, like paramedics or surgeons. Affective empathy could make it difficult for people to contain their emotions in violent or gory situations if they feel too much compassion, preventing them from doing their jobs. Their cognitive empathy, however, can allow them to still treat the patient with dignity while detaching enough emotionally to complete the task. It's important to remember that regardless of their personality traits, everyone is human. With proper therapy, everyone has hope of being a better person. And that's a wrap. We hope these facts about dark empaths helped you discover if you know any yourself. Which was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. And before you go, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any psychology videos. And make sure to check out our Dark Personalities playlist for more. And thanks for watching.